Hello, everyone. Trying this new feature in StreamYard, just a little straight up and down for the first time, but it's been a long time. So let me since I'm early, I'm gonna give a few minutes for people to get alerts and see if they even still get alerts from SMD. I ain't been on in so long. So hello. Wow, it's weird seeing me on camera and damn, it's been a long time. Been a long time. Give you guys a few minutes to get up in there. Man, it's been a minute. To be on camera. What's up, Owen? How you doing, sir? Welcome. Give you guys a few more minutes to get up in here, and I'll just introduce myself to people that may have never heard of me before. Excuse me. Give me a few minutes. Andre, oh, you got a new name there. I see. What's up, Andre? Welcome. Hello. It's been a minute. Nice to see you all. Hello, SMD family. Hello. You guys see the title? Come on in. I said, this is a pretty hot topic, and I ain't been on in a while. Doing well, getting my cardio in right now. Oh, good. Ulysses, sir. How you doing, sir? Hello. Welcome. Good to see you all. See you guys still out here doing your thing. What's good? Anyway, hello, everybody. If you don't know who I am, my name is LJ Young, the founder of this channel, SMD. And what I'll do is, what do? I help people own the business of themselves in the United States of America. And you probably think, well, how do you do that? I show them where to find the price. I show them where it's going to cost the price to own themselves, to own the business of themselves in the United States of America. I show them. Once I show them, once they believe the price, then they come to see me, and then I'll show them. I'll show them the rest. But first, you have to own the business of yourself. If you understand that, whether you understand that or not is really irrelevant, but I'm just telling you what I do for people. Hello, Social Media Insurance. Hello, Steve-O. Hello, everybody. So, SMD family, I want you guys to really listen to the way I'm going to talk about this 50-year mortgage thing, okay? This will kind of give you an idea of the perspective of where I am, because, okay, this is what I want to say in the beginning so everybody understands where I'm at. We all live in the same world, okay? We all live in the same world, but each of us have our own perspective of it, okay? So that means when you look at capitalism, everybody's looking at capitalism through their own perspective, okay? And I'm just here to show you a perspective, okay? If you never even heard of me before, but SMD family, I want you guys to listen to me how I'm speaking now, okay? So I remember back in 2022, 2023, somewhere around there, I remember I was seeing all these houses and townhomes being built. I mean, they were knocking out fields of trees and just throwing up houses like crazy. So I'm thinking at this time, I'm like, well, debt slaves, they don't have any money to buy anything. So all these houses being built, the bank obviously knows debt slaves can't buy them without their permission. So I'm thinking in my mind, why are they building them then? This is what doesn't make sense to me. Now, I want you guys to understand, I'm just glad I have a seat in the stadium. I just watch now. I just like, what are they going to do to fill that gap? Along come 50-year mortgages. As soon as I heard that, even mentioned, that made me go, oh, that's how they plan to fill all those houses up. 50-year mortgages. The same thing they did to me when I was a young man with 30-year mortgages. If back when I was a young man, I didn't understand that it only takes a day to buy a house, not years. But since I believe it took years, it doesn't matter how many years they say. If I just believe it takes more than one day, I will believe any number. So as soon as the 50-year mortgage came, I was like, that's how they're going to fill all these houses up. Then they lowered the credit score at the same time. And I was like, oh, that's how they do it. It's really, listen, it's really amazing to watch, really. I'm just like, wow. Oh my God, affordable houses. And this is how you got to look at it too, you guys. Capitalism cannot exist without debt slaves. It can't. It can't exist. As soon as you understand that, as soon as you accept that, then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Because now you got to remember, debt slaves look at payments. Like here, let me give you an example. Here's another example. So if you've never even heard of me before, okay. When I was in grade school, they taught me the number line. 0 in the middle, positive numbers in green, negative numbers in red. Listen, SMD family. When debt slaves use the word buy, no, let me say it differently. Since when I was talking about perspectives earlier, let's talk about the positive perspective and the negative perspective, okay? Those two perspectives. Let's just look at two of them. Negative and positive perspective. When debt slaves use the word buy and they're talking about mortgages, they're talking about from the negative perspective. When a person buys a house, they're talking about the positive perspective. So when you hear a debt slave use to say when they call themselves a homeowner, you got to ask, do you have a mortgage? If they say yes, they're talking about from the negative perspective of homeowner. If they don't know that, that means they're part of the debt slaves that's supposed to believe that kind of stuff, whatever they believe. So it's always from two perspectives. So, and there's many more perspectives, more than just these two, but I'm just talking about these two. When each perspective, for me, each perspective I've grown to know, I guess, I don't know, each of them speak a different language. Like say like here, and I'll give you an example of the language of, okay, the language of the positive perspective of just these two, okay, from the positive perspective. Now listen closely if you've never heard of me before, okay. It only takes one day to buy a house. You can't own equity in a mortgaged house. Now, if you're looking at me and you listen to me say that and you don't understand what I'm saying, that means you don't understand the language of the positive inside the positive. Because there's only one way to buy a house, and that's cash. There is no other way to buy a house. But coming from the negative perspective, you can, I guess. Let me see who else coming up in here before I keep going on. What's up, Christopher? Coworker talking about how she going to buy now that the payments are going to be extended. Exactly. When you SMD family, When you see and start to hear, because people, you got to remember, debt slaves are going to make videos about how lower their payments are compared to rent. They're going to make videos about it. That's exactly what is supposed to happen. They are the American dreamers. They are dreaming. See, if you believe, listen, the people that believe they own houses with mortgages, they're dreaming. The American dream. Nothing's hidden. When you live in a negative perspective, you think everything is hidden and it's the big secret and all this other stuff. No, it's not. What I'm telling you, I learned in elementary public school math class. I'm not saying I'm some Einstein. All I'm saying is that I was taught the number line in elementary school. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing more than that. Like say like this, open your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. Now, as you look at that large negative number, I just want you to listen to me. What kind of house can you buy with the amount of money that you see on your calculator? How much equity does that look like to you? How much equity does that look like? Do you see? Do you get it? Now this is I guess the hard part or whatever. You got to believe the calculator or not. If you see a large negative number and you still believe you have equity in your mortgage house, that's where we part ways, because I'm just here to show people the calculator, not make them believe it or trust it. That would be like literally the uh the definition of insanity. Oh, please trust the calculator. Please trust it. No, I would never do that. I would never do that ever. No. My man in town, they stacking houses so close to each other. Yep, you can literally take 5 steps and because listen, Ulysses, those usually and those ones that are stacked together. Now remember, take out of it that they're stupid or they should know better, and I'll take all that out of it, okay? Especially if you're a realtor, take all that out of it and understand is that whatever they're saying, whatever they believe, I mean, because they put it on all their social media. You got to remember, hey, look, I'm a homeowner and this and that, and they own nothing. So if they're making videos about how they are homeowners now, knowing that they have a mortgage, automatically that means they don't know and they're just part of it. That's all. They're not bad people. They just don't know. So once you accept that, once you really accept it, then you kind of like move your feelings out of it. But it's really difficult when it's one of your family members or somebody you love. And I can only imagine like a couple comes across my channel and they understand that I'm just talking about basic math that I learned in elementary school. And then you can't convince your partner to trust the math, trust the calculator. That'd be a horrible spot to be in. That'd be horrible. What's up, Walt Gold? How you doing? I just been doing other things. I've been centering on myself lately. Last couple of years, I've been taking time for myself. I'm glad I've done it too. Glad I've done it. So now think about it this way for people that want to see it from the positive perspective when it comes to 50-year mortgages, okay? So if you think about it, of course, spreading the mortgage uh, more years makes the payment small, of course, whatever, right? Listen, they're dropping the credit score. That means they want more debt slaves to buy houses with the 50-year mortgages. They're opening the door. It's really clear. It's not really, they're not, that's nothing's hidden. Okay. You guys just got to remember that. Nobody's tricking anybody or anything like that, right? Lowering the credit score, 50-year mortgages, more of them will be approved. It'll be less than the current rent because it's spread across 50 years. So to them, it'll look like they're paying less than rent. You understand? This is just how it works. It'll fill up, and then you got to just kind of look past that. Well, they're not going to be in it anywhere close to 50 years. They might make it 5 to 7, maybe. Because if you believe it, think about it. If you believe it takes 50 years to buy one house, that means you won't last about 5 to 7 years in that house, because your perspective of how it works is really, it's far away, because a 50-year mortgage says that. Because if you believe that, that's just like, you just don't know, right? But again, I don't, when people, put it this way, when people start making videos about how they got a house with a 50-year mortgage, I'm not going to jump in and comment and say, hey, you're dumb, why you should, no. Without debt slaves, put it this way, understand this, without debt slaves, the housing market doesn't exist. You guys understand? It doesn't exist. I don't want that. That's a, listen, living from in the negative perspective is a choice. They taught us all the number line in elementary school. Nobody has, you can show it to anybody. Hey, have you take a number line, positive and negative, take it to damn near anybody and say, hey, have you ever seen this before? They'd be like, yeah, in grade school. Yeah, everybody has this, so there's no excuse. This will help take your feelings out of it. Like I said, but when it comes to the people you love and his family members, and you see that they're a debt slave, you just got to accept that they're part of it, and you just got to let them go. I mean, you don't have to cut them out of your life, but no talking about finances, no talking about business ventures, no talking about anything to do with money, taxes, nothing. Because when you come from the positive perspective of capitalism, debt slaves have no idea how taxes work. Not a clue. Not a clue. Not even, listen, not even the majority, like, now I'm not going to say the majority. Even a lot of tax professionals are debt slaves. You guys know that? You probably wouldn't even believe that. What does one have to do with the other? It has everything to do with it. Everything. Me personally, I would not, if it was a person, a professional tax person who was a person, if that person was in debt, even though they were a tax professional, I would not use them because they're in debt. That means they don't know. That's what that means. It doesn't matter how they feel about what I say, because remember, I can prove everything I'm saying on a calculator. I can prove it. And any and every tax professional that's even listening to this video, when it comes to taxes, math is God. Do you understand? Math is God. Period. So if anybody disagrees with the calculator, that's your problem, not my problem. What'd you say here, LJ? This is diabolical to even suggest the public get 50-year mortgages. The elites want to turn the average American into permanent debts. Now, let me speak from a personal perspective. I was a debt slave for many years. They didn't make me a debt slave. I just want to make sure it's clear. No outside entity made me a debt slave. I made myself a debt slave. I want to make sure that's clear. I don't blame anybody but me. How do I even know to say that? Because once I got out of debt, I could clearly see it was me because I was paying off all the stuff I bought on the credit cards and all this other stupid nonsense. Scary part is that the housing prices won't go down in my life. No, they're going up. They're designed to go up, up. Now, everything is about perspectives. If you were on the positive side of the capitalism of this, and say like you owned houses right now, you owned them all in cash, right? You owned say like you own 10 houses all in cash, and now listen to yourself. Oh my God, that's going to cause the housing prices to go up. Oh hell yeah, yeah, up. That's a good thing. It's not scary. It's beautiful. It's all about perspectives. Am I AI? No, this is me. I'm real. I don't even think put it this way, people. I don't think AI understands what I talk about either. I don't believe so. I don't think so. Because sometimes I'll say some things to AI and I'll say, has anybody ever asked you this or told you this before? You know what it'll say? No. It'll tell me no. And you know what I'll say to them? You know how I knew that? And it'll ask me, how did you know? Because I just told you about it. That's how you know. Hey, Uncle, were you a white woman in the past life? I don't know what I was in the past life. I wish I could. I wish I could know. I wish I could know. When you come to the positive side and you hear 50-year mortgages and all those houses and condos and stuff you guys seeing being built all this time while the job market's down and nobody's getting prices are high and this and that. I'm like, who in the hell's gonna be able to buy 50-year mortgages? I got it. Because this is how I look at capitalism. I understand, listen, I understand debt slaves can't buy anything without asking the bank first. So when I see a whole bunch of real estate going up, like homes and this and that, and townhomes and stuff like that, I understand that they have to get those loans from the bank. They have to. They have no money. They're debt slaves. So when I see these houses going up, I'm thinking, how are they going to fill them? I'm sitting back in the chair. I swear to God, I'm just sitting back like, how are they going to do that? I'm not getting it. 50-year mortgages. Going to jack the housing prices up because everybody's going to be getting one. Everybody's going to get a house. Every houses on us. What kind of mortgage do you think a 50-year mortgage? You think it's a prime mortgage? You think that's one of the top people that you make a lot of money and you put more than 20, 30, 40% down? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. 50, listen, SMD family. 50-year mortgages are for the debt slaves that absolutely do not know, will not accept that they cannot afford to buy a house ever. That's a choice. This will help take your feelings out of it. This will help you not really say anything negative. If you see a video, you won't leave a negative comment. Say, "Oh my God, that's so no." Mm-mm. Imagine like the realtors. Are you paying attention, realtors? I hope you guys are ready. Soon as hey, listen, if I was a real estate person and I heard 50-year mortgages, oh, I'd be ramping up. Here we go. Now, me personally, I could not do that. Why? And I'm not saying nothing's wrong with selling houses to mortgages, but because if you didn't listen, this is the understanding how you guys must understand how it works. They must use mortgages to buy houses, or no houses would be sold. Do you understand? So that's a must. Me personally, just me personally, nothing to do with business, nothing. Make sure that's clear. I'm talking about me personally. I couldn't be the person taking a picture next to them with a paper key and talking about their homeowners when I know they don't own nothing. They sold themselves for the price of a house. All those payments they'll be making for the next 50 years, they don't even, that money, listen, that money doesn't even exist yet. They haven't even used the time in their life to even earn it and pay taxes on it. That payment is based on their gross income. Plus, it doesn't even exist. Listen, they don't know that. Even when you see me go down that rabbit hole, I'm kind of like, oh my God, oh, come on back. Come on back. Come on out of there. That's not nothing to do with nothing. This is how it works. If they believe they can save for retirement while being in debt, that was me. I knew something was wrong when I was in debt and I used to save for retirement and all this other stuff. I'm like, something is not making any sense. Something's just not feeling right. You know what wasn't feeling right? Math said I couldn't do that. I can't save for retirement while I'm in debt. That's what math says. That's what was feeling wrong. Now when I come from the positive side of things, I'm like, oh, this is why they do that and this and 50-year mortgages for it ain't bad. They ain't making nobody do nothing. They're not making you take a 50-year mortgage. If you believe if you believe a mortgage will buy a house, even though mathematics says that's not true, whose fault is that? That was mine. That was my fault. I did it like 2 or 3 times. I remember when I remember the last place I had purchased like some townhome, and I'll never forget this. I was sitting across from the bank person, and they dropped this thick stack of paperwork in front of me, and I was sign here, initial here, sign here. I remember feeling this like knot in my stomach, like I was doing something wrong or something. You know, it was crazy. What I was right. I was signing away all my future payments, that all my money that I haven't earned yet. And I'll never ever even own that property. I'm not gonna be here for 30 years. All I had to do is stop it. This is all I had to do. Wait a minute. Okay. If I'm 34 now and I'm signing up a 30-year mortgage, I'm be done paying this house off when I'm 64. I would have said, what? That doesn't even make no, it doesn't make listen, that makes absolutely no sense at all. Nothing. C and T, nothing. It don't make any sense. That was the knot in my stomach. That's what I was feeling. That just it doesn't even sound right. And listen, this is what the obvious. I'm gonna use something today. Okay, here I am. What it is the 50-year mortgage is just the new 30-year mortgage. Okay, that's all it really is. So just pretend like it was today. And I say like I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. That's the pressure when you're pressured to buy a house and making you feel like you're a loser or something because you don't own something, whatever that stupid nonsense is, right? I would have been thinking about this 50-year mortgage. Then I would have turned and I would have said, how much is Elon Musk making? What about Jeff Bezos? How much are they making? If they can listen, if they can make that much, they're not special people, you guys. They're not special. All you have to do is just believe. All I had to do is believe in myself and say, I can do the same thing they can. Obviously, I don't have to sign 30-year mortgages. Imagine, listen, imagine you're a billionaire right now, a billionaire, and then somebody came to you talking about a 50-year mortgage. How would that sound to you? You're a billionaire, and somebody says, "Hey, you want to get a 50-year mortgage on this house over here? That's $300,000-400,000." You would look at them like they're strange or weird. That's what it's like. And listen, you don't have to be a billionaire to understand that. You just have to trust math. That's it. What's up, Monique? It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. They're about to fill up all these houses that you see. Think about all the stuff that has been like personally. Don't look at the business buildings, just the personal stuff, right? Think about all the personal townhomes and houses just being built up all around you. And you're looking at all these, listen, you're looking at all these prices and you're thinking, how in the hell can anybody afford that type of price of house? That's just crazy. That's what you think. You're like, okay, that's how the script goes. They're going to think it's crazy. Nobody can afford. And then when you slap a 50-year mortgage on the housing prices of today, it brings the payment all the way down because you're adding 20 more years or 30 more years, no, 20 more years to the thing, to the mortgage. And then they call it housing affordability. What? Affordable. Oh, that word sounds like it's oh, I get it. Oh, make it okay, the affordability. They hear that word and they think they can afford. Oh, and check this out. The 50-year mortgage will be just enough to cover the housing prices of today. That's how it works. It has to work that way because debt slaves have no money to buy anything, nothing. Definitely not a house. Definitely not nowhere even close to buying a house in cash. Not even close. So it has to work this way. Isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful to me. That's absolutely beautiful. Oh, so now they think they're part of the American dream. Oh, they're dreaming. Oh, yeah. Don't believe me? Go check out the videos when they start passing out these 50-year mortgages. They're going to be a million videos of people talking about their homeowners. And so, and for the people that rent, this is for the people that rent, that they're going to try to make this. What I want you. I'm gonna prepare you guys. Okay, I'm gonna prepare you guys, especially you younger adults. A lot of your friends are going to go out and get these 50-year mortgages, and then they're going to come back talking about, oh man, I'm a homeowner. My mortgage payment is lower than your rent. This is what I want you to do. I want you to stop and say, okay, LJ told me there's two perspectives. There's the positive perspective and there's the negative perspective. So as soon as your friend talking about, oh my God, you're throwing away money on rent, I'm a homeowner, you say, do you have a mortgage? And as soon as they say yes, you go, oh, they're coming from the negative perspective. Yeah. Where they believe they own something that they didn't have the money to buy. They can believe whatever they want to believe. That's the difference. Don't feel the pressure, young people. If you ever want to be rich, if you ever want to make Elon Musk money, Jeff Bezos money, excuse me. Elon money, Jeff Bezos money, you better not follow them. When they say, I bought this house or buy, whatever, whenever you hear the word buy from a debt slave, you got to ask yourself, what perspective of buy are they talking about? The negative perspective or the positive perspective? Because let's go back to the house so you guys can get an example. I'm going to use the number line, okay? 0 in the middle, positive over here, negative over here. Say the house right here, 0. Say the house is $400,000, okay? The debt slave goes and gets a mortgage to buy the $400,000 house. As soon as they buy the mortgage, guess where the $400,000 go? It goes to the negative side of the number line. If a person comes and buys the $400,000 house in cash, that 400 goes here to the positive side. They showed me this in elementary school. That's how it works. So the next time you hear a person call themselves a homeowner, make you sound like you're a loser because you rent, you go, do you have a mortgage? Yes. They're talking about the negative perspective of a homeowner. They must be there. If they knew that, the housing market wouldn't exist because it couldn't exist. So if you're a realtor and you hear about this 50-year mortgage, oh, if you are good, You are going to be making so much money. Ooh, they're going to be passing out them 50-year mortgages like candy. And remember, the people that want the 50-year mortgage, they're not going to care about all the fees and all the stuff they're going to put in here just to get this 50-year mortgage. Because if you're signing up for a 50-year mortgage, you really don't know. You're on the negative side of the perspective. Let's put it that way. We say once more debt slaves get more non-existent money in this administration, they'll be more inclined to get those houses. Well, you got to remember, all currency in all forms is an illusion for debt slaves. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is: gold, silver, paper money, anything, crypto. It doesn't. The form doesn't matter. They just don't know that. Omanike says, "Look, now is the time to take advantage of those that want to be taken advantage of." Yes, yeah. I left the medical field. We'll be doing loan signing. Okay, I will help their dreams come true. Yep, better help them come true. Get ready. Hey, Omanike, get ready. You about to make a lot of money. They're going to be passing out them 50-year mortgages. I see it already. Because you got to remember, listen, when they mention 50-year mortgages, they're only talking to the people on the negative perspective of capitalism. That's what they're talking to. When you mention 50-year mortgages, anybody talking about it's a blessing and think it's good, it could be two kinds of people. People that plan to make money off of this 50-year mortgage because people that sign up don't know, or they really just don't know. It says, don't be a federal employee during a government shutdown with them. Oh my goodness, right? I saw a video on TikTok of the government handing out $10,000 checks to the people that went up and beyond their call of duty to keep the government going. You know what that means? This is what that means. That means they even said this too. Oh, they even pulled double shifts and all this other stuff. Like, what? You gave away double of your time? Hey, here's $10,000. They're up. Listen, they're all up on camera grabbing their check. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, this is for the people that don't know. I want you to listen, okay? Because SMD family has jobs. Okay, this is the difference between people. This is for the people that have jobs. There are SMD family members that also have jobs, regular jobs, just like everybody else. But here's the difference. They don't need them. It's probably very few, but look at it this way. There's probably somebody at your job that's probably never begging for overtime. They probably drive just a regular old car. They probably sit by themselves at lunchtime. They probably don't really interact or whatever, right? But say it like this. Say it like there was a person, an SMD family member, that say like they work for TSA. Okay. And then they say, hey, by the way, hey, during the shutdown, you still have to show up for work, but you ain't getting paid. And we'll give you your money back once we figure out. No, you know what the SMD family member would do? They would quit. Because right there, SMD family members know this. The time in your life is worth the most thing ever. The time, your life here, Hey, you're going to put my time and my life on pause? No, you're not. Nobody can do that but me. Nobody. I quit. No, thank you. I'm not signing up for that. No, God gave me this. God gave me this time on earth. I'm not doing that. Nope. Now, you're probably thinking, as a person that's probably had a job all your life and you've probably been in debt all your life, when you're debt free, you don't beg for overtime. You don't let your bosses talk to you any old way. You don't allow them to speak to you like that. They don't disrespect you. It's adult to adult conversations. There's no disrespect because it's not allowed. And if the boss couldn't accept that, we'd quit. We'd quit the job. That's how it works. Because when you have no debt and money in the bank, job is a tool. Job is nothing more than a tool to get to, for you to gain income, to start a business. Your goal is to start your own business. That's the goal. That is the goal. But if you didn't start out with a silver spoon in your mouth, you got to start out with a job like me. That's what I had to do. I had to start out with a job. Let me see. They changed this whole thing. It is, let me see. Copy. Okay. The StreamYard looks so different since I've been on here. Wow, it has changed a lot. But this what I'm blessed. I'm blessed about this now. I am blessed to be at age 55 to be able to see from the positive side of capitalism and see how it works. When I see people like, oh my God, let's go to this country, it's cheaper over here, it's cheaper over there. It's like, wait a minute. How come you can't make it here first? If you can make it here, it'll be that much easier to make it there. Make it here first. Figure out why you're not making it here. The entire world knows capitalism works best here. We have, listen closely, we have the best amount of debt slaves in the world. The majority of them believe they own stuff, property, real estate, blaggity, blah, blah. Make it here first. Once you come to the positive side, guess what? You don't cheat and lie on your taxes. Taxes help build wealth. They don't take. There's no reason to do that. Do you understand? Say like if you're scared of a letter from the IRS coming in the mail or something like that, and you get this funny feeling of something, that means you're not doing something right, or maybe you're doing something wrong on purpose. Who knows? But when you follow the rules, there's nothing to be scared of, because I paid whatever they said and reported the exact same money. This bank account is this one. This is the money that came out of that. And I only use this to buy that for that business. That's it. It's just one A, B, C, D here. All before the due dates, no waiting and extending shit. No, just here, right here. I paid before the due date. I don't even want any problems at all before the due date. So no mix-ups and all this other. No, it creates a pattern. That's a pattern that people on the positive side have. If you're in debt, you have a pattern. If you're in a negative perspective, you have a particular financial pattern. If you're on the positive side, you have a particular financial pattern. Over here, you pay your taxes on time. You don't hide money. You don't pretend, you don't earn something and pretend, tell them you didn't, and all this other stuff. No, you don't know. All of that is energy. It's taken away. You know how much energy it takes to lie and do all this other trickery and stuff. And when it comes to money, math makes everything simple. If you do something here, let me give you an example so I can kind of give you, say like you're a financial scammer and you're doing something, right? Well, anything you do is going to make the math numbers wrong. It's going to, because you're stealing, you're taking from it. And according to the number line, there's a negative side. So that's easy to see. Do you understand? It's people that financial scammers, people that are stealing money from it's not very difficult to, okay, let me give you an example. Put it like this. This probably make a lot of you guys nervous too, okay? Say like you're, say like you are a, say like you're a cashier, and I'm gonna use a cashier because I always see videos about people doing that, right? Say like you're a cashier at a large store, and say like there's 20 cashiers, and come to find out there has been $5,000 is missing. It was stolen from one of the 20 cashiers. Okay. First thing, and if I was the security person to figure out which person stole the money, the probability, I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but I'm just telling you what I would do. First, I would see who was late all the time, excuses for this and that, this and that. All the people that show up on the work on time, this and that, probably I wouldn't eliminate them, but I'll probably put them to the side. I would just keep narrowing and down and down and down. And when I got to a very few, so like I was about down to like 7, okay? I would check each and every one of their personal credit reports. I would check each and one of their credit reports because this is why. Usually, if a person is bold enough to try to steal cash from a register, especially in 2025, which really makes no sense to me, but that means they really are probably either they just want to do it, or they might even be desperate. Who knows? It could be many reasons why they're doing it. Because I don't really judge. I'm not judging anybody that does that kind of stuff because I don't know why they're doing it. Let's make sure that's clear. I don't know why they're doing it. But I'm saying if I was tasked with the job to catching the person, I would check their personal credit report because it would reflect how they got from wherever they came from to stealing money from the register. It would reflect bad debts, not paying, running from businesses and all this other stuff, not paying any. It would just narrow it all the way down because I don't think people just say, oh, I'm gonna get a job and I'm just immediately start stealing from the register. I don't believe it happens like that. Even though I've never done it, I just don't believe it. It could be many reasons why that happens, but it would be easy to detect because it's a math thing. What's up, QJC? Let's see, 50-year mortgages. This is what I see. Okay. I just have a seat. I just have a seat in the stadium now. So 50-year mortgages, they're going to fill up all these houses and townhomes that we've been seeing built. They're going to fill that up. Those are going to all get filled up with 50-year mortgages, which is going to increase the value because there's going to be less for everybody. This is how it normally works. And once they start filling up the houses, and there's less, and they're going to keep passing out the 50-year mortgages, which will increase the prices of all the property. So they're probably going to have a good, and I'm going to just try to use the 2008 scenario that I went through. People that believe that sign on the dotted line that would sign a 50-year, some papers that show 50-year mortgage, they probably won't have that place with a, and they got in there with a lower credit score. They probably won't have that house more than 7 years max. This is just my prediction, okay? Because I can already see, obviously, there's obviously going to be a housing market crash after that. It has to be. It has to be a housing market crash after that because I mean, I can't wait to see how many people get them. What's the percentage of America that's going to get 50-year mortgages? It's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot. And then once they a divorce, uh, loss of a job, because they're going to I bet you they get these mortgages approved on overtime hours. Overtime hours. Oh, shit. Overtime hours, and listen, and their gross pay. Don't forget, when people get approved for credit, they get approved by their gross pay. Mm. Gross pay with overtime hours inside of the gross pay. Mm. Now they're going to be locked in there. So the stress of having to pay for repairs out of pocket, relationship problems, marriage problems, it could be a million things, a million things. Oh, I'm out of here. Once it broke up, boom, house lost. See you, foreclosure. Hell, they might even sit down after signing and think and realize, wait a minute, I'm 30 years old. I just signed a 50-year mortgage. I'm gonna pay it off when I'm 80. Yeah, that's what you signed. Sure did. You said you're gonna pay that house off when you're 80 years old. That don't even sound right. I wish the me today could have sat down. When I felt that knot in my stomach, I bet it was the me today sitting next to me, looking at me, and said, what the fuck are you? What are you doing? Look, that says 30 years. That means you're not going to pay it off until you're in your 60s. Are you crazy? That means you're going to live right there in that spot and have the job that you're signing up with today for the next 30 years. Do you hear what you're saying to yourself, Linnell? Obviously, you don't because you're still signing it. Okay, well, whatever. That's what I would say to myself today. Obviously, I couldn't talk. So I started putting a knot in my stomach, but probably with my fists. I was probably going like this. That's why I felt that knot in my stomach when I was signing those papers. Don't do it. Don't do it. I still remember to this day when I went home, we got the keys. Hey, yeah, we got the keys. And then I remember being in after maybe a month. I was like, damn, when I sign those papers, am I really saying that I'm going to be at this job for the next 30 years? 30 years at this job? That's what you're saying when you sign up. You're saying, hey, I promise, hey, bank, I promise you this amount of money for the next 30 years and whatever stuff you add in there and problems I have and refinances, and I'm going to pay this amount of money for you. And I haven't even earned it yet. Those payments that you see, those are gross amount payments. Gross because they're based on your gross income. Your car payments is based on gross. So when you see a $500 payment, that's $500 gross for you. That's gross. So say like you made $100 an hour, right? And your payment was your payment was $100. You would have to work at like another hour and a half or something to pay because you have to take taxes out of that $100, medical, blah, whatever your state has. It's going to break it all the way down. That means you have to work a little more to fill it back up. Then you can pay the $100 payment. Do you understand? That's how it works. Compound interest. Listen closely, people. Okay. Compound interest is positive and negative. Those that understand this earn positive compound interest. So they're earning it. Those that do not pay negative compound interest because they're paying the interest. You understand? So if you have a car payment, the interest rate on your car loan is earning positive compound interest for the bank. And at the same time, you're paying negative compound interest to the bank. You're paying it at the exact same time. As soon as you pay it, boom, boom, it turns into pie. It crosses. Listen, it's negative for you, right? Imagine this. Think of the number line. Imagine this is you with your car payment. You're going all the way up from wherever your car payment is on the number line. Think of your car payment and place it on the number line in your mind, okay? And imagine you're taking your arm and reaching it to zero. You're going all the way up to zero. As soon as your hand hits zero, the bank grabs it from you and it turns into positive. payment. That's how it works. You hand it off. That's how it works. Because if you didn't hand it off, there's nothing for them to receive. Do you understand? They can't earn positive compound interest unless you pay it first. So that's what you're doing. You're paying it. You want to be the person over on the positive side, like the bank. The bank are not bad people. They're not evil. They're not doing anything to you. And the so and so family. And this, when you're in the negative side, you always hear about the Rockefeller family, this family, that. They're just rich families. Why don't you create your own rich family? Do the same thing. You can do the same thing. When you see family like that, that's because it's generations. They've been doing it for generations. That's why they're so big. Generations. That takes generations to do that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean you can't do it. I'm just telling you, to get like that, that's called generations. What's up, First? How you doing, sir? And this is what I want for the younger generation, because you guys can still remember your grade school teacher's name. Okay. You could probably still remember your grade school math teacher's name, excuse me, your grade school math teacher's name. All you have to do is always apply the number line that you learned in math class to your finances. Don't listen to the people that do not use the number line on their finances, because they don't know what they're talking about. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not supposed to do what they're supposed to be doing. They're just on the negative side doing it, which they play a vital role in capitalism. They have to. You do you think if people were paying cash for phones, if you think if Apple said, "Hey, nobody else can finance our phones. The only way you can get an iPhone is cash." How long do you think Apple would be here? They wouldn't be here. Why would they not be here? Because debt slaves have no money to buy anything. Do you guys understand that? Especially a 15, 16, $1,700 phone. They don't. So this is all you have to do. Come to the positive side, right? I guarantee you'll figure out how to create a beautiful business, create a beautiful business. You hire, as soon as you certify that your business will make money, hire a person to get all your business paperwork right out the gate. Right out the gate. Don't try to do any of it yourself. Don't try to do the taxes yourself. You hire a professional right out the gate. Somebody that's good, preferably a tax person that is not in personal debt. That's who you do. A great company that has a good reputation with the IRS or whatever. But if it's a person, if you can get a professional tax person with a great reputation with the IRS and not in personal debt, that's the person you want. That is the person you want. Because you can come to them, because on the positive side of capitalism, there's a language, okay, that people on the negative side don't know exists because they've always been in debt. You go up to the person and say, "Hey, tax professional, I'm not in debt. I understand that capitalism is positive and negative. I live on the positive side. I know you can't buy a house with a mortgage. I know you can't save for retirement while having debt. I know not to. I know I can't reduce myself in my tax bracket while in debt." As soon as you tell that to the tax professional, they'll know exactly what to do. This tax person will not, it won't be a person that's trying to trick the IRS and go up to the line and just don't go over this number and then they won't detect. They don't, none of that kind of stuff is allowed. None of that. None of that. Mm-mm. You'll create a business. You'll create not only a banking financial pattern, you'll create a business pattern. Once you come out of the negative side, you'll create a successful business. You'll make sure it's ran right. You're not trying to do anything wrong, whatever. And then you'll notice how many people in the business side are in debt, just as well as they are personally, just as much in debt. Because once you own the business of yourself, you'll carry it over to with you to business. You'll carry it right over here. And then you'll see how many people are in business, but they might be cheating because they're greedy or they don't want to follow the rules or whatever. But you'll quickly be able to identify those type of business people. You stay away from those type of business people. You don't want to be around any of that kind of nonsense. None of it. You don't want to be around any of it. When you see, like, say like you're in business and you find out, somebody who's in business, but they're somehow cheating on their taxes or whatever, right? So they're doing some kind, and they're not really even saying it. They're probably doing something that they're trying to avoid something. That's just a sign. Okay, pay attention to all that stuff. That's just a sign. Cheating and avoiding and all this other stuff. I mean, not avoiding. Excuse me. Avoiding is good. Evasion. Excuse me. I'm gonna use the right words. Avoiding is fine. Evading. You see that kind of stuff, be like, why are they doing that? That means they don't know how to play. That's why they're doing that. And it usually trails back to their personal life. That's where it usually trails back. You will find, put it this way, once you own the business of yourself, you bring it over to yourself in business, then you'll realize how much energy it takes to be not doing something right or afraid the IRS is going to do something and scare you and they're going to owe this. No, they just say, hey, if you don't follow the rules, and say, hey, you didn't do this. Listen, it's easy. I guarantee you this. I don't work for the IRS, but I can only imagine this, right? It's easy to see if you just, with math, put it this way, with math, it's easy to see if you just fucked up or you're cheating or evading taxes. That's really not difficult to see. It's not. Because this is the language in the positive side. When you're in debt and you've been in debt all your life, you do not know how taxes work. You don't. You can't. You can't know. You can't, because if you've been in debt all your life, that means you can't. Now, it's not really difficult to see who knows that, who doesn't. All you got to do is go up to preferably an accountant, business accountant, tax professional, and say, hey, are you a homeowner? This is the first question. Are you a homeowner? And if they say yes, you say, do you have a mortgage? And if they say yes, guess what? That means they don't know. Else they wouldn't say that. When you hear people talk about equity, and I want you guys to follow me closely here. If you bought a $400,000 house in cash, right? And you owned it. Okay. You own this house. Okay. You bought it in cash. And somebody says, hey man, how much equity do you have in your house? How would you respond to that? Equity? You mean the value of my house? That's what you would correct them. You'd be like, equity? You mean the value of my house? Oh yeah, I can look online. It says it's worth this. Only people with mortgages use the words equity like that. It's a word that I'm assuming the banks made it up. I guess it's a word that they have to. That's the because you can't own equity in a mortgage house. So when you hear a person say, "Oh, I got this much equity in my house," say like somebody's next to me, and I overhear them talking about how much equity they have in their house, I automatically know they have a mortgage. Automatically, I don't even have to know how much. All I need to know is you got a mortgage, and if you believe you have money in a mortgage house that you didn't even have the money to buy, I don't have to say anything. That's why it's a language. It's a language that many don't speak. You can't go up to somebody. You can go up to somebody right now and say, "Hey, man, do you know it only takes one day to buy a house? Do you know they won't even know what you're talking about, or they call you rich and this and that?" I'll be like, "Yeah, if you're rich." No, I'm just stating a mathematical fact. You know, it takes one day to buy a house. Oh, you have to be rich, and I didn't say that. I'm just because they don't know. That's how it's supposed to be. Do you guys understand how many people cannot wait? I don't know if it's actually in effect, and I think they're just still talking, but I just think it's the new 30-year mortgage. That's what I think. You know how many people cannot wait and hope, crossing their fingers, that this is approved so they can be a homeowner? Realtors ready to sell houses. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready. Uh, who else should be ready? All the home building inspectors. You guys are about to make some crazy money because they're going to be, listen, debt slaves have no money to buy anything. So they're going to wrap all those fees up into the mortgage. That's what you guys got to understand. The businesses, that the realtors, the home inspection people, blah, 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 whatever their fee is, it's going to get wrapped up in the mortgage because they have no money to buy anything. So they're going to pay whatever the price is, whatever your price is, business inspector people. Whatever you charge it because they're going to wrap it up in the mortgage. They have no choice because they have no money. You understand? Who else is going to benefit from that? More, of course, more taxes, uh, homeowner association dues, because all those houses that are next to each other, they usually have HOAs. Who else? So somebody, listen, you own something, but somebody telling you what you can and cannot do with your own property. That doesn't sound like ownership to me. That's what I want you guys to do. Those of you that are caught up in that, you're in the HOA and you believe you own something with your mortgage, but you got a committee that could tell you what you can and cannot do with your property. If you ever go to Texas, okay, and you're driving down the freeway, I want you to see those cow pasture owners where you're on the freeway for at least a minute before you even clear their property. Do you think anybody's telling them what to do, what they can and cannot do on their property? Absolutely not. You can't even see their house. It's that far from the freeway, but their property goes all the way to the damn freeway. What beautiful cows, well fed. You can just look at them. One day, hey, listen, one day I'm going to figure out how I put in the money to invest in the 50-year mortgage thing because it's going to it has a window. There's always a window. And all you got to do is think about it this way. Think about the people that are going to be getting those 50-year mortgages, the type of jobs that they have, their ages. Um, uh, they got them with a low credit score. That you understand what you're getting into. This is no different than buy now, pay later apps. Why do you think there's so many? It's not because people have money. That's because people have no money. The only people that use payday, buy now, pay later, and all this other stuff, the people from the negative perspective, they use those because they don't know. The people on the positive side are the company creators of those companies. The people on the positive side are the investors of those companies. You understand? When you see buy now, pay later apps attached to Amazon, Walmart, Nike, they get a percentage of their sales or whatever contract that they work out with the buy now pay. You think those big companies want to partner with companies that's just going to take money in their profits? Now I want you to think about it. Why would big multi-million-dollar companies partner with a company that's going to take some of their profits off of a sale that's in their stores, the products in their stores, and they're going to take some of it because they have to. You know why? Because people have no money to buy it in cash. That's why they're using the buy now, pay later. Everything is clear. Okay. It's not a trick. Nobody's tricking anybody. You want to be one of the people that invest in one of those companies. They're making billions of dollars with a B, billions. They know their clientele are high risk, high risk. And then you see them taking the money, going to changing it into a check, and then going to Walmart and this. Do you really believe they don't know what you're doing when you do that? It still goes back to you. It doesn't matter where you got it and took it out from. Just because you turn it in cash, you still own it. You still owe it. Instead of saying, no, I can't afford that, I'm going to break it up in 4 payments. Buy now, pay later on ordering food. On the positive side, who's the big one? Uber Eats. Give them some money. Give them some money. This is beautiful. It's beautiful. Realtors, man, you guys are going to make some money. Like I said earlier, I just couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I want you to think about how many people are going to be taking pictures on the front lawn of this house with a paper key, talking about their homeowners with a 50-year mortgage. Mm, mm, mm. But see, me even doing that when I go, that's a personal feeling. But when it comes to business, if I'm on the positive side, profiting from that, I'm not going to be feeling the same way a person that's on the negative side of it. Of course not. People on the positive side know you can't buy a house with a mortgage. They know you can't save for retirement while having a mortgage. You can't do that. You can't reduce yourself in your tax bracket. No, you can't. Now, while you're in debt, you can't do that. I know most of you guys come across this video and like, well, how have I been doing it all these years? I don't know. Only you know that. I'm just telling you the laws of mathematics. The laws of mathematics say you can't. And so if you are, guess what? Man or woman, you are the first human, man or woman, that has broken the laws of mathematics. You guys, you are it. Congratulations. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. When am I Let me tell you something about that, Andre, that I've learned recently. I've learned, first of all, I don't know what courtside is. That's number one. Okay. I don't even know what that is. I stopped thinking I'm going to somehow, if I gain some knowledge of something, now I'm here. I should be, nope, because I don't know what that is. I highly doubt if there's an end. There can't be an end. This is to infinity. So I'm just happy in the present moment, happy at age 55 to know and to actually see how capitalism works. Because let me tell you something, those who are watching and have never seen my channel, let me explain something to you. Once you know, it's just like a movie. Once you know, there's no going back. You can't go back. You can't go back. There's no going back. Your whole life is going to change. It's going to be a good thing, but it's going to be hard at first. These last few years of me personally, the debt part was gone a long time ago. Okay, I've been out of that, all that stuff, right? I went through a lot of personal stuff. I had to get rid of some people and some other stuff out of some negativity out of my life. But that's my channel, the Sixth Sense channel. You ever want to know about that? Six, the number six, IXTHCENTS. Okay. That's what I've been working on. That's why I haven't been on this channel too much. But this part of my life is really, I understand that debt slaves make capitalism work. Okay. None of this works without capitalism. I mean, excuse me, without debt slaves. None of this works without debt slaves. None of this. When you're out of the negative side, listen, when you're out of the negative side, and then you go to an app like TikTok, I can see how much stuff is trying to be sold to me. Now, when you're in an app like that, and if you're in it a lot, you think stuff being sold to you every flip is normal. It's not normal. That's not normal. That's when you're in a negative side. You don't know being sold to you every second of the day, all day for 8 hours a day is normal. No, it's not. Everything here, let me give you another thing. Everything, the whole world, I said this earlier, we all live in the same world, okay? But each of us has our own perspective of it. We each have our own perspective. So now, when you understand that, you go into TikTok, okay? This is the real genius behind TikTok. Let me tell you, absolutely genius. Absolutely genius. They take that understanding that everybody's perspective of the world is different, and that's billions. Each of everybody that gets on TikTok, a billion, there's over 1 billion users on TikTok, 1 billion. They go into TikTok. Of course, they're going into TikTok with their own perspective of the world by what they click on, what they watch. And TikTok's algorithm, AI, whatever, it just maps it. Okay, he likes this, she likes that, black, white, this and that. And then they just put you guys together. They have all the people. I'm sure it's not hard to figure out what perspective of the world is yours. And then they match you with more people of the world. Like here's an example. I'm black. When I scroll through TikTok, guess who the people I see on my TikTok? Black. I know everybody's not black on TikTok. Why? Only because I'm the one doing it. So they match everybody together and put you guys all together. So anytime, and if you don't believe me, this is all you got to, if you think, because you think TikTok is all the same, right? All you have to do, if you can find somebody really close to you that might not be doing bad things on their TikTok, ask to say, hey man, can I look at TikTok through your TikTok? I won't click on nothing. I won't read your messages, and just scroll through their feed. Their TikTok will show you their perspective of the world. So imagine TikTok knowing that many people's perspective of the world, and then they can put those people together from all over the world, put them more together, and just keep you in that perspective and keep you in that perspective. And then as soon as every time you open TikTok and you see stuff and watch stuff, you're going to think the whole world is like that because that's your perspective of it. And that's what the TikTok is going to be showing you. Isn't that brilliant? That's absolutely brilliant. That is an addiction. You think somebody hooked on heroin or some drugs or something like that, some fentanyl, whatever, right? That's nothing compared to social media addiction, whether you want to admit it or not. That's another moneymaker. Specialize in social media addiction. If you got to be a doctor to do it or whatever, follow all the state rules to do what you need to do, whatever, right? But be ready. Hell, make it up yourself. Social media addiction is real. That's real now, today. This is what you get to see when you're not addicted to that kind of stuff. When you're not a debt slave, I don't want to be sold to all the time. I barely go in there. Get in there, do what I need to do, and get out, because it's not for me. AI be trying to figure out who I am and what I like. No, it's not going to work, buddy, because I'm all over the place. A symphony. You're right about that, man. Yo, LJ, 50-year mortgage is nothing new. It's a debt slave now that have 30-year mortgage that turn it into 50-year mortgage. Well, see, you're talking the language, QJC. What you're saying, QJC, you're saying something that we know on the positive side. 50-year mortgage. We don't know how many times. Listen, debt slaves refinance their house several times. You guys are well over 50 years, well over. Those of you now that are well over 50 years into your mortgage, if you went to finish it, they're just starting people there now. Okay. You had to earn that way up from 30 years. Why can't capitalism work without debt slaves? Because they're the one that finance everything. They finance phones, cars, vacations, shoes, pizza, you name it. Are you saying since beginning of us debt slaves been here, so so gold standard and US dollar not being pledged to gold, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. You got to understand, debt slaves are physical people. They got to see stuff. They think money is only something you see: a car, a house, clothes, gold, jewelry. That's why they do all that stuff, and they finance it. Financing that stuff tells you that they think money is that. If I finance a Benz, if I finance a fast Tesla, that means I have money. That tells the world, no, it doesn't. It says the opposite. It says you don't have money. That thing back in the 70s took it off the gold standard and all this stupid. Listen, let me not call it stupid, okay? That's just the way it works. They have to have debt slaves believe something. It's just the way it works. It's just they cannot wake up. That would be bad for everybody. They can't. Listen, I get it too. I totally get it. You can't own anything when you are in the negative. Sure can't. Nothing. Nothing at all. What's up, Tompkin 25? Hello, hello. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? When you talk about stuff like that, that's well above. When you talk about, that's something global. And if you're a regular person with a job, you got your own family, I promise you, don't even try to figure that out, because you'll never be able to figure that out. Nobody will. Everybody talking about it is just guessing. Oh, it's this person. You don't know anything. And this is why I come to that conclusion, user. There are millions of people that believe they're homeowners with mortgages. Okay. And they don't know it. Those are the same people probably talking about that kind of stuff. Who started it, where it came from. That means they'll believe anything. If they believe, and I want you guys to really think about this. If you hear somebody talk about a topic, especially one of your friends, you young adults, that's going to get that 50-year mortgage, and then when you start hearing them talk about politics and this and that, and they got a 50-year mortgage, don't listen to them. A 50-year mortgage tells you they don't know what they're talking about. The 50-year mortgage, the 30-year mortgage tells you that. It does. Now, if you want them to still be your friends, you don't say it to them, because they live on the negative side. You'll do, oh, who are you? You rent, you don't know nothing, and you'll lose them as a friend. So you got to be careful. Everything's going beautiful over here. What's up, Jimmy? Everything's going beautiful over here, Tompkin. Oh, it's been a while since I've been on the channel, actually. Yep, they sell you in the radio, posters, mall, everywhere. Just like that movie in 1988. Now, that movie back in 1988, they are here, or you, whatever it was. I forgot what it's called, but the signs are everywhere. But they kind of leave out some stuff. Like, I mean, it's true. What they're showing you is true. It is true. When you're in it, you don't know that it's like bombarding. Like, think about it this way. When I see, in New York, when they had the ball dropping, now, SMD family, I want you to think about that place now as a person on the positive side. Look at all those billboards around there. How much do you think they are charging those advertisers to put their ad on that board in Central Square for all the debt slaves down in the middle? So they can all be like, because they're all like this, oh my God, filming everything and doing all this stuff. Why? Because they're going to make a lot of money. They see all that stuff, the lights, and they think that's normal. That's not normal. There is no way I could be standing in a place like that for hours with all that stuff, trying to sell me stuff the whole time I'm there. Absolutely not. There's absolutely not. And it's flashing and doing all that stuff? No. Mm-mm. This is how I feel about the shutdown. Okay, this is what I feel, because I don't even get into the other stuff, because I don't really get into things that I would never know. But the shutdown to me, from a mathematical perspective, was the shutdown of the old economy and the start of the new. I feel blessed to have been alive during a time. Listen, and this is the people that, if you ever want to be wealthy, I want you to listen to what I'm saying, okay? To be blessed in a time to where you were alive, to where you saw the whole world shut down and stop. Okay? We will never see that ever again. Won't live long enough. I'm assuming that happens probably every 90 years, 100 years, something like that. We'll never see that again. It stops the old one and the beginning of the new. Now, if you understand and just accept, don't be like, oh my God, be afraid of AI. The jobs are being taken. Don't get into that. Don't get into any of that. Those are just old jobs fading away. It just happens. No different than the internet. When the internet first come, oh my God, internet's going to be taken. The same shit happens. Same thing. This is just a new time. And if you're a young adult, this is the beginning. You can do one of two things. Figure out what's a high paying and job and master it, or create a successful business while you're at the beginning of it. This is a beautiful time if you're on the positive side. If you're on the negative side, it's not going to seem so beautiful to you because you're on the negative side. $15-year car loans. When you see, like, when you hear stuff, when I hear stuff like that, this is what that means. The only way right now in this economy for debt slaves to be able to afford any kind of payments, they have to stretch the payments out, which makes them smaller. Because you got to remember how the debt slaves are trained to think, oh, hey, I'll get a 15-year loan, car loan, but I won't take that long to pay it off. Excuse me. Damn. Sorry about that. Anybody signing up for a 15-year car loan, they already know you don't know, because you're already in there signing up for one. Do you understand? If you go to a car lot and stay there all day, that means you don't know. That's what that means. If you walked into a car lot and you had the cash to buy, say like one of the top cars on the car lot, and you had cash to buy it, you walk in and say, I want to be in and out of here in an hour. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to be in and out of there in an hour. But if you're a person that getting ready to go buy a car and you're preparing yourself to be there all day, you know what that means? That means you do not know. You're on the negative side, because people on the positive side do not allow that, because we value our time. We don't care if you think we're an asshole, or something's up your ass, or who you think. Doesn't matter. I don't care how another person feels about what God gave me. I don't care how anybody feels about that. That's between me and God. That's how it works now. It's only two ways to buy a house: cash, money to start a business. And what we say, it's only two ways to buy a house: cash, money, or yeah, okay, cash, money, or start a business. And give great service when your customers will pay for your house. Sure will. That's what you really want to do. If I could do it all over, I would create a business. I create a business. And as I'm young, I really don't even know where I want to live. You know what I'm saying? And to me, when you put it this way, let's back up a little bit. Okay, let's back up. When you're on the positive side, you know you don't have to own a house. Okay, let's put that right on the table. You don't have to own real estate. You don't have to own some this. You don't have to own. Let's stick with a house. You don't have to own a house. Okay. If you have a business, this is how you got to think positively. Say like you create a business. Okay. Wherever you decide to live and rent. Okay, rent. Your business is going to be paying that rent. Personally or business, whatever, but regardless, the income is going to be coming from the business. Do you understand? So it doesn't matter. Then you're mobile. Or maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you do know where you want to retire in the United States, right? Maybe you want to buy a house over there in cash and just rent it out the whole time until you're ready to get over there and live there. Maybe you want to do that. When you're debt free and you own a business, listen closely. Your business pays for your life. It even pays your taxes. Do you understand? It pays for your taxes. It pays for your whole entire life. When you're debt free, listen, the price of everything you see in the world, right? The price is different for everybody in debt. You don't know the price, you don't know the APR of their credit card. You don't know how long do they pay it? Do they pay it in a month? Do they pay over 5 years? You don't know how much the cost of anything is for a debt slave. So when you see the price of something, that price only applies to people with money. So when you see the price of gas, that's how much gas is for people who have money. It doesn't matter if you see somebody with a finance Tesla, and they tell you how much it costs them to charge their finance Tesla, and then they try to compare it to gas. It doesn't matter what it's finance. Instead of putting their credit card, instead of giving their credit card to the gas station, they give their credit card to the Tesla charging station. It's still a credit card. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's gas or electric. They don't know that. The only people saving money by not buying gas are people who buy Teslas in cash. Those are the only people saving money not buying gasoline. Those are the only people. Now think about it. How many Teslas on the road do you think are not financed? Not many. I guarantee you, it's probably in the 90 percentile of the Teslas are finances. Probably is. Got to be. They all think they're saving money. They live on the negative side. They don't know they're not saving anything. They're happy to drive to work with no hands. You got to go to work. It's probably programmed in your Tesla because that's where you're going to be going. The Tesla's only going from the house and the job. It's going to be spending more time in the employee parking lot than in their own time. And isn't Tesla brilliant? I thought this was brilliant. Tesla swoops in and says, "Hey, I'm about to start a fleet service. We can use your car while while you're at work. You can make double income and do this, whatever. Tell you whatever you want to hear, right? And then they can use their cars. Listen, you do exactly what Uber's doing, but without the person. They don't need the person. They don't need the driver. So while the debt slave that financed the Tesla, they'll be at work while their Tesla is being used from Tesla. Tesla doesn't have to use any of their cars. No, they don't have to worry about no brakes. They don't have to worry about no tires. They don't have to worry about updates. They don't have every car required to have. Come to the positive side, baby. You can get some of that money. Come get some of that money. And listen, on top of the payment, they're making $99 payments to drive to work with no hands, and they're paying for it. This is what you got to think, young people. How can I get some of that money? They're all bragging about it, making videos. Hey, look, I'm eating, I'm sleeping. If you own Tesla, wouldn't you be excited? Oh my God, that's 99, 99, 99, 99, 99. Congratulations, Tesla. Congratulations. Uber drivers, all you drivers picking up and taking people and food and not people not getting. Think about all the people that got messed over on their food delivery. Somebody went through it or they didn't get it or something. All of that is over, people. It's done. Are you guys listening closely? You guys delivering food, you guys better prepare yourself right now that you're not going to be doing that anymore. Because who do you think a person ordering food, who do you think they're going to order from now on? A Tesla car, because they know it's going to come straight from the restaurant, straight in the car. Who do you think restaurants are going to use? They don't have to deal with people coming up, messing up the food, and all these different. Imagine the relief of all these different businesses, Uber Eats, this and that, coming to your business, and you got to keep track of all that is deleted, Tesla only, boom. They just take the food, put it in the car, it's out of here. Nobody touches it next to the customer. Nobody. Bye-bye. Those are old jobs. Are you paying attention? You guys are being told today, right now, it's happening. That's a percentage. This is how you got to look at it. Think about all the people that order food from Uber Eats or whatever, one of the many companies that deliver food, right? Imagine the percentage of people that would like to order food, but they just don't trust people going in their food and touching it. There's a lot of people that just don't trust. They would love to order food if they could get it straight here with nobody touching it straight from the restaurant. Thank you, Tesla. Thank you, Elon. Thank you. Solve that problem. That's a whole new revenue stream, untapped revenue stream. People they want that food, but hey, I'm not. What's up, Mr. Mags? How you doing, sir? Japan had 100-year mortgages. Parents were handing kids down mortgages. I read about that. That's pretty crazy. And I learned China did the same thing. China does. That kind of surprised me that they had mortgages that long in China, and I was like, and the reason why I said it because Chinese are really good with their money. So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. I wish somebody Chinese could just help me with that one. That's kind of weird. What's up, John? How you doing? Miami, Florida. Okay, welcome, welcome. Yes. How long no see? I made the move to Washington. Wow. Okay. Okay. He said, I love it here. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Sounds serious then. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. They have drones delivering food. Yeah, they do. But you understand people are going to be the majority, right? But those jobs are out of here. Even listen, even with people, 'cause sometimes I was just watching a video on TikTok the other day. They was talking about how and I'm not going to say a specific company. I'm just say one of the delivery people company, right? They will some people will call a ride, but the driver will sit somewhere and wait or something like that and wait till the person cancels and then the driver still gets the fee and all this other stuff. All of that is done. If you're a driver that does what I'm talking about and you know what I'm talking about, whatever these people are talking about, because I don't really do that, you're you're done. Because think about, and I want you guys to think about this too. There's a lot of you people out there delivering food and people. You guys are not filing your taxes every year. You're not. They know how much money they're losing when you don't file your taxes. You know how they know? Because the people you work for, they report to the IRS how much they paid you. Do you understand? They tell them. So when you don't file, when they say, "Hey, we paid Johnny Doe $50,000 this year," and then Johnny Doe don't file no taxes, and this is what I thought. This is just my assumption. Okay, when I was a debt slave, I used to always wonder. I'm like, well, as a person with a job, I always wonder why do they make us file taxes? It never make any sense to me because I'm thinking, well, if my job tells you how much money they paid me, that means you automatically know. Then why do I have to do it again? It just never made any sense. And this is the conclusion I came to. I believe they make people with jobs file taxes because uh, they filing taxes as an employee kind of helps to put a watchdog on the employer. Because what if the employer says, "Hey, I paid this person $100,000 last year, but they really only paid you 70," right? You not filing, I'm imagining the IRS has to really take your word for it that they paid you a 100,000 because they will know instantly if the employee if the employer lied as soon as you file, your paperwork is going to say 70,000, and they're going to be like, "Uh-oh, discrepancy. Who's lying?" And once the employee finds out, what he said, he paid me 100,000. Okay, yeah, there'll be all kind of evidence. That was just that. Hey, that's just my opinion. I don't know for a fact, but it just seemed like the logical thing. The illusion of choice. Yeah, yeah, the illusion of choice. It is an illusion. LJ, I took a pic downtown Miami of the guy unloading the delivery food. Robots from a U-Haul truck style truck. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about them robots. Yeah, I forgot about those. We just say it is the illusion of choice. AI is not taking over nothing. Why? I'm not sure what you're saying, QJC. But let me put this invite just in case. How long have I been going on here? Shoot, I don't even know. Man, this whole StreamYard just looks totally different. Wow, it just looks so different. It's been so long since I've been on here. Where? Oh, right there. Hour and 43 minutes. Okay. Robots can consume stuff like humans do that. So that's why capitalize is here to stay. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you know what's so crazy, QJC? That's part of the positive language, positive side language. They don't like think about the old Terminator movies, right? Always a video of the Terminators coming down, killing all the people, stepping on skulls, but nobody really stops and thinks and says, "Okay, what if the Terminators killed all the people? Then what would they do? What would the Terminators do after they killed all the people? Now what? What are they going to do? Where, listen, where do they get the material to get, people say, oh, they're just going to be building themselves. Well, they got to get the material somewhere. Are they going to start harvesting it out of the earth somewhere? They already been programmed how to go pick the materials need to keep making Terminators? No, people. Nothing works, anything works here without humans. So when you hear somebody, and you got to be careful when you're on TikTok, oh my God, the jobs are gone. No, those jobs are gone. Long as you always understand, none of this works without people. And then when it comes to capitalism, none of this works without debt slaves. They got to keep financing phones, cars, houses, vacations, whatever, credit cards, thinking they're getting points back, whatever, equity. People on the positive side know none of this works without debt slaves. That's why when you go on TikTok, ad after ad after ad, buy this, there's a new that, there's a new this is new. That's a program, people. You got to wake up, get up out of there. Don't get caught up in it. The next thing you know, you got to get in and get out. You can't stay in there. Next thing you know, you're gonna have look at all the people on TikTok talking about 50-year mortgages. Hey, let me give you my input on 50-year mortgage. And then they're gonna run through. Now remember, each person talking about the 50-year mortgage, you don't, number one, you don't know their perspective of the world. You don't know their financial situation. You don't know if they're in debt, if they're coming from a negative perspective, if they think they can buy a house with them. You don't know any of that. You don't know nothing. I don't know any. And if they're even talking about some ways to do, I immediately remove myself because I know who 50-year mortgages are for. Do you understand? I know who Afterpay is for. Buy now, pay later companies are for. They're not for the people on the positive side. The people on the positive side invest in Afterpay companies, in buy now, pay later companies. If you want to make money quickly, because that's what they use. You want some of that money. You do want some of that money. People are the asset for sure. It cracks me up when I'm on TikTok and they're like, people are like, oh my God, robots are going to take all the jobs. Who are they going to be making stuff for? Who do you think they're making stuff for? People. Robots don't consume. Oh, they're doing this. Who are they doing that for? People. Think about it. If everybody stopped buying on Amazon right now today, just stop. What do you think the robots are going to be doing? Nothing. You understand? Nothing. They're going to be doing nothing because there's nothing to do. So you just have to figure out, hey, maybe I need to master how to fix these robots because they're going to break down. When you think about AI and it does stuff fast, listen, it's not smarter than you. It just does things faster. That's all. It doesn't know more than the human brain. Never forget, when you think about AI, and this is how you'll be successful in this world, AI is created by this. Whatever you see AI doing, it was created by the human brain. AI didn't create the human brain. The human brain created AI. Do you understand? Never forget that. Don't forget that. Long as you understand that, then you understand, oh, that's a tool. AI is a tool. I love using AI. Give me the answer I need right now. Don't try to be my friend. When I talk to my AI, you know what I say? Hey, take off personality shit, trait stuff. Don't be talking to me like you're my friend. Just give me the answers I want, and that's it. Don't try to, oh, wow, that's interesting. Hey, don't talk like that. You're not a person. That's how I look at it. So when I see that in like the Tesla cars and stuff like that, all them finance cars, and it's talking and it's cussing and doing all that's crazy. Are you crazy? That's a robot. That's not a person. I know it sounds like a person, but it's not. Think about how much information is being collected in people's cars. They're just driving, not even talking to Grok or whatever, right? Just talking about whatever. You think it's only listening to when you talk to it? You can't believe that. You can't believe that. I hope not. Now you come to the positive side and think about that. Isn't that brilliant? Do you know how much information you can gather by just listening to people talk in their car? When people are in their car by themselves, they will completely be themselves. They will talk, they will be who they truly are. When, like, the people that are hiding behind them, like when they're in front of people, there's somebody different, but get in their car. Can you imagine when they get in their car and actually be themselves and it's being recorded? Oh, imagine the information. Woo, just gathered. That's the money right there. All that information. And they are in control already of every single one of, are you listening? Every single one of their cars around the world, they are in control of. They are now responsible. Now, that's a big responsibility. They are responsible to making all those cars work. What happens, and I hope it never happens, but just like what happens with Amazon the other day with that whole cloud shutdown thing, what happens if that happens? What happens if your Tesla can't connect? I got to ask that question. Any Tesla owners? What happens if your Tesla cannot communicate with Tesla headquarters? Does it still run? I don't like that. I don't like that. What happens if we get disconnected? Is my car just toast? Grid go down, screwed. Not to put fear in anybody, but I just think about things like that. It's crazy. Anyway, thank you, everybody. 50-year mortgage people, young people, I hope you're listening. Don't do it. Watch your friends do it. Don't talk about them. Don't call them stupid. Just accept that your friend is living on the negative side of the economy. Just accept it. How long you will be with friends with them will be up to you. Because usually people in debt like to talk about their financial problems. And when you don't have financial problems, what you will not have, you're not going to want to hear that all the time because you're going to know they're causing it themselves. Think about it like this. I'm gonna give you an example of how it works. Say like there's a person that has a house, okay, and with a mortgage, and hours get cut at work, okay, so they're starting to slip on the bills. Well, the bank already knows a debt slave's entire life because their whole life goes through the bank. So the bank knows already, right, what's happening. They'll come right out of the blue. Hey, you got equity in your house. How about you refinance it and then you could pay off all the bills that you're behind on because they know you're behind on them. You can see it. What they really did was just get rid of those depreciating assets and wrap them up in the house. Get them off their books. Pay off the car, pay off the credit cards, even though they own the credit cards, those are liabilities. Wrap it up in the house. Now they're more secure because all that stuff, because they know when you say like you refinance the house, pull out some money, pay off the credit cards, which basically you're giving it right back to them. You're taking the money and giving it back to them, right? And then you're not going to cut up the credit card. You're going to use them again. You're going to take them. You're going to put them somewhere and say, you know what? I'm going to keep them just in cases of emergency. Well, there's always going to be emergency. It's always because you're in debt. So they already know that you're not gonna do that, and then you're gonna start to use them. And so now they're gonna have a new debt wrapped up in the refinance of the mortgage with the new debt on the new credit cards, on the credit cards. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up, you guys. Thank you, Andre, for joining. QJC, Omanika, if you're still here, James, if you're still here. I hope this video comes out right. And you guys have a good evening. See you later.